Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Corey, man. We back in here. We gonna be reacting to WWE. Not all of today, but whenever I see of WWE, I kind of want to react to, just out of spite. And let's get right to it. We got it right here. I guess we go back over here. We got WWE 9 last minute
New Walmart
shocking
Black Friday
WWE
deals are live. Get 10-inch
Survivor Series
Squishmallows for
2023
$5.
winners.
This on 43-inch TV for $98. And so many more amazing deals.
I ain't gonna
Shop
lie, I
online
will
now
up
and
this
in-store
one
Friday. Save big with Walmart Black
40
Friday
minutes ago.
deals.
I love BetterHelp. Therapy has truly changed my life.
I've been in and out of therapy with BetterHelp
Maybe
for a few
wasted.
years now.
What is going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with another video. The Survivor Series War Games is almost here, and fans want to know what the behind-the-scenes happenings are, as well as a certain someone making their huge return. Join us now as we look at the most shocking rumors you need to know about the 2023 Survivor Series PLE. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new site, WrestleMania.com. Number 1, 2023's last PLE. The Survivor Series marks the last PLE of 2023, but as last year's PLE showed, that doesn't mean that WWE is going into cruise control until the Royal Rumble. The next WWE PLE is 27th January's Royal Rumble, which means the WWE has 2 months of TV to fill up. While Roman Reigns appears to be on one of his lengthy vacations, there are plenty of storylines that could wrap up at Survivor Series or continue after the PLE. Likewise, fans could see the beginning of new plots at Saturday's event. Number 2, Judgment Day business. The Judgment Day have been feuding with Raw's top baby faces all the way back to Money in the Bank when Seth Rollins began his series with Finn Balor over Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship. Since then, the Judgment Day have picked up several titles, including the Women's World Championship, the Undisputed Tag Team Championship, and the North American Championship. They've also managed to anger the babyface collective of Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso with weekly attacks and even persuading Drew McIntyre to help them out. Worse, things have gotten so chaotic that Raw...
Bro, now that I think about it, I think this is a video we reacted to yesterday. It's kind of weird. But let's watch this video right over here. We ain't
What
got
is
an
going on, guys?
video
It is
for that reason.
WrestleMania here, back with some more news. Join us now as we
we've
look at
seen
the
this
wildest
one
news
too.
stories and rumors you need to know, including an update on CM Punk at Survivor Series, the real reason why Randy Orton returned, who really is Shinsuke Nakamura calling out, Nikki Bella responds to WWE blacklisting her,
Trying to
John
find
Cena
something.
undergoes second surgery, Matt Riddle cuts off his head.
Let's see. Pinned up.
Vince McMahon is notoriously one of the scariest individuals in pro wrestling. McMahon is truly an enigma, and wrestlers
watch
past
this.
and present
Bro,
have
all
spoken out
this
about
stuff.
how daunting interactions with McMahon can be. The majority of wrestlers have allowed McMahon to micromanage them, but certain wrestlers have
Ooh,
shown
right.
no...
I don't think we've seen this. 10 fake WWE storylines of this. Let's see
When
what this
two
all
wrestlers
about.
enter into a storyline, they have to work closely with each other and truly have to get to know each other to make the storyline work to its fullest potential. Unfortunately, this can result in bad blood and the two specific wrestlers having a ton of resentment towards one another. This negative resentment often continues on for years and can even last for decades with no sign of any reconciliation. Now, believe it or not, it's not just a theme that runs throughout the decorated history of WWE, as incidents of this nature have taken place in every major wrestling company from WCW to AEW.
While your ass is wrestling on YouTube, praying for a chance at the company I was building.
Join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 wrestling feuds and storylines that resulted in real-life conflict.
Wait, did Jeff
Be
Hardy
sure to
sit
subscribe and hit that
in the
notification
fight?
bell
Oh
for
yeah,
daily wrestling videos and follow us on
over that
Facebook for exclusive
drunk thing.
links. Number
During
10,
the-
CM Punk and Triple H. Now, CM Punk has made a ton of enemies during his time as an active pro wrestler, but his feud with Triple H certainly cuts deep for the straight-edge savior. In 2011, Punk became the hottest thing in pro wrestling, as this was after the infamous pipe bomb promo, and there was a clear opportunity for WWE to make Punk the top star in the company. Unfortunately, WWE botched Punk's ascension to the top, and one of the reasons for this is that WWE decided to have Punk lose to Triple H at the Night of Champions pay-per-view. At this point in time, the game was semi-retired, and there was no need for Triple H to attain a victory of this magnitude. Punk cites this as
Yeah, I agree.
Mobile games
He
are
wasn't
growing
doing
big.
nothing. He was just a
Clash
commissioner.
of Clans is now
Other
available
than
on
the show,
PC
he could
with
still
Google
do
Play.
it. I don't really see why he won.
the reason he lost all of his positive momentum, and it's hard to disagree. Punk himself admits that he had a ton of resentment towards Triple H for what could be perceived as a burial on pay-per-view, and when WWE wanted Punk to face Triple H at WrestleMania 30, it was a contributing factor to Punk walking out of the company and never returning. The game has never commented in depth on his feelings of Punk, but it has been reported that Triple H wants nothing to do with the former champion. However, time heals old wounds, and it would be interesting to see if the head of WWE Creative would be interested in repairing their damaged relationship. Number 9, Booker T and Batista. In the summer of 2006, WWE implemented a feud between Booker T and Batista over the world title on the SmackDown brand. However, this feud would be put into serious jeopardy during a filming of the commercial for the SummerSlam pay-per-view. Booker believed that Batista had an aura of cockiness and ungratefulness, and this ultimately led to a physical confrontation between the two. It was reported that Booker may have gotten the better of the physical exchange, but other eyewitnesses' reports from the likes of Fit Finlay differ. WWE could have potentially scrapped the feud, but the two were as professional as they come in their matches, and the duo worked a number of times together throughout 2006. In relation to their current status as friends, Booker claims that the two now have a good relationship, and their prior issues are simply water under the bridge. Number 8, Eddie Guerrero and Kurt Angle. The love and admiration Kurt Angle has for the late great Eddie Guerrero is well documented, but it wasn't always this way. When the two embarked on a feud in 2004, the two had a ton of personal issues, and these issues eventually got physical. According to Angle, these problems between the two escalated when Guerrero accused Angle of being stiff in the ring. Angle would discuss this on his podcast, where he added,
We were getting heat on Eddie, and it was Luther Reigns, Mark Jindrak, and myself. I didn't touch Eddie, okay, so I couldn't have been the one that stiffed him. After the show, we all wait in Gorilla and say thank you and shake each other's hand. And I went to shake his hand. I said, thank you, Eddie. He said, no. What you did out there was wrong. You were stiffing me. I said, Eddie, I didn't touch you. He said, bullshit. You were stiffing me. You were beating me up. And I pushed him. And he double legs me. An amateur wrestling double leg. And I get him down.
Gold
I got
medalist,
him in
by
a
the
front
way.
headlock and I start choking him out.
Rather hilariously, it was Big Show who eventually broke the fight up, and according to Angle, he put both men in a different corner to stop the commotion. Angle would also reveal that the physicality kicked off once again in the locker room, and this time JBL had to break it up. But despite numerous physical confrontations, the two were able to patch things up, and whenever the two worked together in the ring, it was
Are they
never
able to
apparent that
patch
there was
it up,
any
or they
issues between the two
just patch it up when
WWE
he
legends. Number 7, CM Punk and Ryback. Now, the hatred between Punk and Ryback is no secret, and it truly began when the two first worked together in 2012. Ryback was rather reckless with Punk in the ring, and this negligence resulted in Punk getting injured time and time again. Punk believed that Ryback had a personal vendetta against him, and this would lead to a confrontation between the two backstage. When the two feuded again in 2013, Punk would claim that Ryback was even more reckless, and his actions during their 2013 feud took years off his life. Punk would claim that Ryback was one of the main reasons that he loathed his time in WWE and simply wanted out. In relation to Ryback, he usually likes to take shots at Punk via social media, and when Punk suffered an injury in 2022, he would tweet out "Karma Rules," which made no sense. Let's just say that it's unlikely that these two will ever patch things up. Number 6, Bret Hart and Goldberg. It's well established how Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels had a ton of beef in the 90s, but there's perhaps one wrestler that Hart loathed and continues to loathe even more than HBK himself. Whenever Hart takes part in any type of media interview, he's bound to bring up his hatred for Bill Goldberg. Hart's dislike of the former world champion began in late 1999 when the two wrestled in the main event of the Starrcade pay-per-view. Goldberg delivered a stiff kick to Hart's head, and this ultimately resulted in Hart retiring many years before he should have. Hart would never let this bad blood go, and despite Goldberg apologizing numerous times over the years, Hart has refused to accept his apology. In recent years, Goldberg has stated that he's finally done apologizing, and if he isn't going to accept his apology, then there's ultimately nothing he can do about it. Number 5, Bubba Ray Dudley and Batista. And one of the wrestlers that Batista had an issue with during his time in Evolution was Bubba Ray Dudley. When the two worked together in tag matches during the Ruthless Aggression era, the two wouldn't meet eye to eye, and on one occasion, everyone got severely hurt. Batista would discuss this during the WWE Network documentary titled The Ruthless Aggression Evolution. This is when Batista had to say in relation to working with one half of the Dudley Boys. We just gotten in the ring and Bubba came full on running at me. He just smacked into my arm and my tricep just popped. I went back and tagged Randy. I think he was irritated with Randy and I to begin with, just being that we were two big muscular guys who are now with Ric Flair and Triple H. I think he just hated it. He was always a dick to both of us. Number 4, CM Punk and Jeff Hardy. Now, the most celebrated feud in 2009 was the feud between CM Punk and Jeff Hardy.
they both worked
The
in
feud
AEW.
blurred the lines of fiction and reality, and as a result
crazy.
produced one of the strongest stories WWE have ever delivered. Hardy had an issue with Punk as he believed that some of the content of his promo material crossed a line and went too personal. When Hardy left WWE in 2009, they would air a segment which featured Punk intimidating Hardy, and this made Hardy so angry that he cut a shoot promo on Punk whilst clearly under the influence. In this shoot promo, Hardy would claim that he was the one who made Punk a superstar in WWE. Hardy would declare that Punk was way too cocky outside the ring, and his way of life wasn't the right way anyone should have been living. It was never made clear if the two men ever had a discussion about their issues with one another, but it was reported that AEW could potentially be looking to do a featured Punk vs Hardy matchup, with both of them being in the company simultaneously, but sadly due to outside factors, this never materialized. Number 3, Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose. One of the most anticipated
They know
matches
they
heading
hated
into
each other.
WrestleMania 32 was between Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose. The two would collide in a no-holds-barred street fight and fans expected a war. Unfortunately, the match was rather lackluster and wasn't anything remotely what fans wanted or expected. The hardcore-style spots were limited, and it was if both men didn't want to be there. It then surfaced months later thanks to a podcast interview that Dean Ambrose had with Stone Cold Steve Austin that he hated working with Lesnar. Ambrose would call Lesnar lazy and criticize him for not wanting to do anything memorable or special. Ambrose would maintain this viewpoint for years, and in a 2019 interview with Wade Keller, Ambrose once again went off on the Beast incarnate.
So, like, day of the show, he doesn't show up till like 3 o'clock. We've not talked about any of this match. Show starts at like 5. We're like 4th. Bro, he's not very interested, like, doesn't really want to be there, you know? And this is the most important match of my life. I'm like, everybody at WrestleMania wants to show up and steal the show. There are people on that show that night that I know have been literally rehearsing their match for a month, like at the Performance Center. Like, and I was like, dude, we have the opportunity. We have a street fight. We can do anything. I'll take any bump you want. Please, power bomb me in the thumbtacks 100 times. Oh, we don't need all that.
Lesnar never formally responded to Ambrose's comments, but his good friend Paul Heyman would go on to call Ambrose's comments ridiculous and would question the merit of Ambrose's disparaging remarks. Number 2, Triple H and Scott Steiner. Upon Scott Steiner returning to
I feel like
WWE in
everybody
2002,
has
his
something
first
against
notable
Scott
rivalry was with the resident top heel in the company, Triple H. This feud would be an utter failure and led to a ton of animosity between the game and the former WCW champion. The matches the two had at the Rumble and the No Way Out pay-per-view were both unbelievably bad. Steiner was suffering from drop foot during this time, and this impacted the quality of the matches on offer. Steiner believed that the game was sabotaging him to make him look as bad as possible, as Triple H was concerned that Steiner was going to take his place on the card. The game simply believed that Steiner wasn't as good as he thought he was, and ultimately had no place working main event level matches in the year 2003. Steiner would continue bad-mouthing Triple H for years. However, in 2022, he would claim that he was letting bygones be bygones and that he was officially putting his past behind him. And number 1, CM Punk and Adam Page. On paper, CM Punk vs Adam Page sounded like a fantastic feud, but in reality, it was overshadowed by real-life drama. Punk's problems with Page began during the build-up to their Double or Nothing matchup, as Page reportedly said something that Punk wasn't comfortable with, and Punk from that point onwards seemed to have a strong hatred
So they don't
towards
really
him.
have
A short
it
time
all
after
there.
this incident, in an
But
unplanned
the
segment,
veteran wrestlers
All-Out
hardly
Page
ever
seemed
get
designed to embarrass him and make him look inferior as a result. Punk would then go one step further, and in his last AEW appearance to date, Punk would blast Page during an all-out post-press conference, referring to him as an empty-headed you-know-what, as well as stating that Page went into business for himself. It's
I
worth
think he
noting that
did.
Paige is universally liked by the AEW locker room, and it seems rather peculiar that it was Punk of all people to pick a fight with the former AEW World Champion. But there you have it, folks.
Bro, it
10
seemed
wrestling
like everybody
storylines
was
that
a
led
former,
to
so.
real-life conflict. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks for watching. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Y'all stay